seed treatments are a great option to help with crops, survive or get through a season and not be as affected by some of the diseases and some of the insect problems that they can encounter. And so it gives that crop, just probably a good way to put it, it gives it a little bit more resilience of getting through a season. So let's try to unpack that statement. There's a lot of different problems that can happen. And I'm standing in front of a soybean field, so we'll use soybean examples, but as you look at a soybean crop, there's a lot of problems that can happen. You can have root rot problems early in the season, which can lead to stand loss or to maybe even needing to replant. You can have diseases that are showing up later in the season that are actually caused by infections early in the season. So those could be charcoal rot, sudden death syndrome, brown stem rot, where the roots are being infected, but you don't start seeing the symptoms on the upper part of the plants until later in the season. And really a lot of the stresses that we see, if it's environmental or lack of nutrients or diseases, a lot of that will start showing up when you're out combining. So I'm standing in front of a field that's going to be combined, harvested pretty soon. So, but seed treatments can be one of the first lines of defense against a lot of these different problems. And now they're not going to solve all of the problems, but if you start looking at the general health or the general ability of that crop to get through some of those highs and lows, maybe water stress or whatever it is, it's good to have a good healthy root system. And that's what seed treatments are helping you do. And so seed treatments, if you break it down, man, you have a lot of options that you can put on that seed. Sometimes you're putting fungicides on, sometimes you're putting insecticides, sometimes you're putting growth stimulants or even other things. And so what you start to look at is, as you're deciding what to put on, could be like, what are the problems that you have in that field? And I'm just going to use disease examples, but if you have a history of root rot problems, Phytophthora pithium, Fusarium, Rhizoctonia, there's a whole complex of those. You can pick a seed treatment that's going to help you get through, getting that stand established early in the season and making sure that you have good healthy roots that are being able to sort of do their job the rest of the season. Now, if you have very particular disease like sudden death syndrome, we do a lot of research on the different seed treatments that are available where that disease is a little bit odd. The symptoms show up in August or the reproductive growth stages. Infection happens right after planting. So the seed treatment is very critical for that, to reduce the amount of that fungi getting established in that root system, and where you see the symptoms, or you see that reduction in symptoms later in the season. Now, none of these seed treatments are going to be completely wiping out the diseases. You're still going to have some problems. They're still going to be there, but in general, there'll be less if you use the right seed treatment to match the problem that you'd have in that field. And when that happens, that you get a lot more resilient crop.